Welcome to Aaron's Wine Talk. This is wine number 19. We have here a white wine, a Sauvignon Blanc, which is very uncommon to grow in the island of Sicily. Well, Sicily is a huge island. It is mountainous. The climate is hot and Mediterranean. Very difficult to get acidity in the wine, but they have the climatic features. And the microclimatic features is definitely altitude. Mount Etna helps to give altitude to the vines. They also help to give acidity to the wine, which Sauvignon Blanc deserves. It's a typical wine which is very high in acidity, lower in alcohol, but then you need some good microclimatic and viticultural features in order to give acidity to this wine. This wine is produced by Abbazia Santa Anastasia. It is from Sicily. It is based, I think, in Palermo because there's a PA initials right on the address. And the wine is imported by Marlon Curti, who has a small wine importing company called Ftira Wine Imports from Ftira Cafe, which is practically in Taj Besh area, in Sida area. The wine is 12.5% alcohol, and the winemaker calls it sinestesia. Sinestesia means synthesis, so the grape is definitely Sauvignon Blanc in synthesis with the climate, the soil, the terroir of Sicily. And I think there is some of that. And I think this is my first different Sauvignon Blanc ever that I've tasted. Normally Sauvignon Blanc is herbaceous, grassy, green in color, high in acidity, refreshing. This has refreshing in a different style, which is more full-bodied in style, and I think it's more of a Gewürztraminer rather than a Sauvignon Blanc. I'm not criticizing it at all. What I'm saying is that I am amazed how it gained the Gewürztraminer characteristics grape rather than the Sauvignon Blanc. But you still have the herbaceousness, the grassiness of Sauvignon Blanc coming in. And then you realize, yes, this is a Sauvignon Blanc. But how did the winemaker manage to take out like the characteristics, different characteristics for this Sauvignon Blanc? Well, it is the growing part, the viticultural part, and also the vinification part. When growing these grapes, they grow them definitely at high altitude, 600 meters above sea level. That's going to give good acidity to the wine. They have what they call biological viticulture, also known as biodynamic viticulture. In other words, no herbicides, pesticides, or sprays were used in growing the grapes. Only natural growing grape growing techniques were used. In other words, techniques like canopy management techniques, in order to cut the leaves above the bunches of the grapes to expose them to the sun, and like that you will literally eliminate the mold and the wet conditions of rot. And obviously the mountains help that, all the countryside within Sicily helps that, and definitely the soils are quite volcanic in style, so you can smell that mineral quality coming out, typical of Sicilian wine. Today, this Sauvignon Blanc is recognized as a DOC denomination. So it's a DOC, before it was considered as IGT. Now it's a DOC Sicilia style of wine. So they are recognizing that this grape is of a top quality one, growing in a hot climate area, which is very much uncommon. Thank you, Marlon, for this style of wine, because you really chose a different quality Sauvignon Blanc, which is quite low in alcohol from a hot climate coming again. Yeah, this has no oak, so the color is not coming from oak. This has a special style of making this color. This is macerated on the skins. Wow, having a long maceration of 24 hours. It is very rare to have this for white grapes. And when you macerate it at 24 hours for a low temperature only at 9 degrees, at low temperature is going to extract some color from skins. But white skins do not give color to the grape. But definitely there is that lemony, nearly pale golden color that indicates to me skin maceration. Normally we press grapes on arrival for white grapes to extract only the juice and the must. for freshness and acidity, but the winemaker wants to extract even the flavors of the skin. So I really get skin aromas, typically of Sauvignon Blanc, and I just love that. I love that skinny effect on the wine, on the aroma. It just really makes me pleasure and literally wants me to drink more wine. In fact, I already drank nearly half of this wine because it's really refreshing and I can smell so many aromas. This has citrus, lemon, this has green fruit, tropical fruit, a bit of dried fruit coming in as well. It's got so much levels of complexity, which is incredible. I've never seen this in a Sauvignon Blanc, I must say. When the wine is ready, well, the wine is fermented then, on with the juice only. The skins then are removed, and this is fermented again at low temperatures between 15 19 degrees. That low temperature is important to extract the flavor, the freshness, and the level of acidity in the wine. When it's ready, the wine is matured. So it's matured in stainless steel tanks. Stainless steel tanks will preserve the flavors of the grape. No oak is used in the treatment of these wines, and I do fully agree. They didn't need it. And out of those 6 months, 4 months were on the lees, on the dead yeast, on the sediment. So when you mature it on the lees, you extract that bread, biscuity aroma and flavor, which also increases texture of the wine, as you can see. So the wine will become a medium to full-bodied style. It's my first, I think, full-bodied Sauvignon Blanc at a low alcohol level with a medium plus level of acidity. I'm really amazed with having those hints of Gewürztraminer. Let us see that. No, Gewürztraminer it's a pink-skinned grape which has aromas of tropical fruit, lychees, and also a lot of ginger, sweet spice with honey coming in. And they have the similar characteristics. I'm really surprised. I will never guess this wine to be a Sauvignon Blanc blind tasting. Impossible for me. Obviously, you will realize when you will know the wine, but at that taste, you get that herbaceous, grassy character, mineral hints, which is typical of Sauvignon Blanc. Let's give a deserved tasting note for this wine. On appearance, I get a deep lemon color to pale gold color. So this will indicate normally sweet wine colors, but this is not sweet. This is totally fermented dry, and it's totally developing because of skin maceration and because of the heat within Sicily. Heat will also mature the wine, so you get those deep, intense colors. This is the grapes are picked in early August, and they only pick them early in the morning so that they keep the freshness in the grape, and the acidity will be fresh in the early hours of the morning. So they work very, very hard for this wine, and they know exactly when to pick. That is why the wine is at 12.5%. If they pick at late August, the wine will go up to 13%. But it was not the intention of the winemaker to have a higher level of alcohol. They wanted freshness, and they wanted to retain the high levels of acidity. Well, it has tropical fruit character, so I agree with them that they had to pick early, an early harvest. Wow, so interesting, huh? The legs are very short legs. They go down quite fast on the sides of the glass, and that represents a low level of alcohol of 12.5%. Very hard to say if this wine is a hot climate or cold climate. The legs will give me cold climate, but the color gives me hot climate. So it's quite misleading there, but still, it's a different style that is made. On the nose, I get that lee stirring, the batonnage that they did, agitating the yeast, the sediment for 4 months, weekly batonnage that they do for 4 months in stainless steel tanks to preserve the flavors of the grape. It's typically there on the secondary aromas. So the secondary will be the yeast, the biscuit, the bread characters coming in. It increases this texture in the wine, the batonnage, the lee stirring effect. On the primary fruit, I get all fruits, citrus, ripe lemons, no grapefruit or limes, but ripe lemons. But I get this pink grapefruit. And pink grapefruit here, I just get it. It shows that the wine has been macerated on the skins. I get that skin aroma. Very, very typical, yeah, of 24 hours skin maceration before fermentation. Ah, so pleasant. Peach, apricot, nectarines are there of stone fruit. I get also oranges, orange citrus fruit, florality, extreme florality, typical elderflower, orange blossom, honeysuckle, and even roses, which is very typical of Gewurz as well, Gewürztraminer. Yes, the roses aroma I do get. It's just like you walking in a rose garden and you're just smelling them. Tropical fruit, I get passion fruit, lychees. To extract passion fruit and lychees is not easy in wine, and you need really ripe grapes in order to obtain it. So this wine is already complex because of just its fruit character, and it's just really amazing. Lychees, I get the Chinese fruit of lychees. Sweet spice of ginger coming in, so that is the tertiary aroma, and with age more ginger spice will take over the wine together with honey, which the Italians call miele. Yes, there's a lot of honey character. It's not sweet wine, it's totally dry, but you get those sweet hints of honey coming in, and that means that the honey and the ginger will take over the fruit character with age. I get a bit of raisins and sultanas, the dried fruit character, and on the nose, you'll just, appearance and nose will just indicate to me that it will be a sweet wine. Yes, but on the palate, it's something different. No, this is totally fermented dry. Wow, no sweetness at all, ladies and gentlemen. This is not characterized as sweet wine. This is a total dry wine. The acidity is on the medium plus level. Very good for the winemaker to retain these levels of acidity in such a hot climate like Sicily at medium plus, which is on the high side. Body is quite full-bodied inside. To be fair, it would be more medium plus body, but it's definitely will complement rich dishes, which we like fish with cream-based sauces. It has that creamy texture, which I love. That is the tropical fruit character coming out. Very pronounced intensity, both on nose, even on palate. Extreme fruitiness at its best. Honey, ginger taking over for tertiary aromas. This is vintage 2018, so it is 2 years old and still can mature further in the bottle because of the complexity of ginger, honey, and the rich tropical fruit character, which can age for years. But I think this will go for 6 to 8 years. So I think this wine will age a maximum of 10 years. From vintage 2018, it will go up to 2028. Very easily. Probably even more. I'm very, very curious from this winemaker to see how their old wines are, like a 2012 or 2010, to see if it's really good to drink today in the bottle. We'll see about that. But on the finish, I get this medium plus finish, quite long and lingering there, still there. Let's taste it again. You're going to love that skin maceration. It has also that mineral finish, clayish mineral, stones. You taste the stones, the volcanic soils of the area, a bit chalky as well, clayish in texture. And it's really, really made very, very well. It shows that this wine has not been used any chemicals, literally, to make it, especially in viticulture. And the yeasts used were all natural yeasts used during fermentation, which are indigenous and natural ambient yeasts. And this makes the wine pure and in sinestesia, total, in synthesis with the earth and the Sicily of the area. Well done to this winemaker, Wendell Marlon, for making this wine, for importing this wine. They did a very good job, and thank you for sharing it with us to the general public. As you know, this is all for information, educative information for people to learn about wine and different styles and where to get the wine from in Malta. Malta is always accessible both to local wines, even foreign wines, but definitely Sicily is very close to Malta, very accessible, very good winemaking for this wine. Excellent. We'll go very soon for wine number 20. Thank you very much.